All right, it's another day with the High Vibe Tribe. Tuesday, March, what is it? 12th. March 12th. Today, we are going to be ingesting, digesting, and dissecting two quotes. And I've already thought of these quotes for months at a time because it had such a profound impact on me. But before we do that, we are going to go around the room and check in. I'm just going to start from the top and go in order. And we have Brandon Angel, Sean Lynch, Kevin, Chop Chop, Patrick, and AK with us today. And the first person is Brandon. Brandon, what's up, bud? How's the day going? How was yesterday?
Good morning. It's storm weather here in Argentina. The first time since I've been here in these 2 months, or I guess the worst time, or the most proficient time. And I'm a runner that loves to run in the rain. So I went on a long run in the rain yesterday, and today looks like I'll be taking another long run in the rain. And because I started my day with the best crew in the world, and we did this 100 burpees this morning to before the meeting, I would say, man, I feel like I'm super pointed at the best day ever, ever.
Nice,
And I'm
man.
just really glad to see you
That's
guys
what's
this
up.
morning.
Hey, man, I had the same idea today. I said, I am going to get after that run today. I'm not going to the gym today. I got work to do. And I'm going to stick around the house and just run out the door, crush 8 miles, come back, stretch, and get to it. So that's what's up, Brandon. All right, we'll just go in order. Sean Lynch, what's up, bud? How you doing today?
Nothing much, man. Yesterday, I had a great day at work, listening to some great music with the guys, and then got after it in my diesel class in the evening. I was understanding everything they were talking about, so it's pretty sick. But excited about what we're doing here and ready to have a great day.
Beautiful, great. Crush it relentlessly. You always do, though. It's a habit. Excellence is a habit. John's got it down. All right, Kevin. Hey, how are you, bud? How you doing?
What's up, guys? Morning. Yeah, a good day. It's cold out again this morning here in Canada. So it was nice to get out first thing in the morning, get that fresh air, and then the burpees with the guys. Got a few in before I had to get ready for work. So I'm ready to leave the Mastermind meeting, go straight to work from here. So that's cool. Yesterday was highs and lows, but mostly high. A lot of good things coming down the pipeline for this group and for myself. So that's pretty cool. Excited to see what you got today.
Yeah. I'm excited to put it down. Next in line, Patrick. Patrick, how are you doing, bud?
Good, brother. Good, brother. I'm just getting ready to go up for my MRI tomorrow. They're looking at my spine, get some information here in the next week. So that's where I'm at. Looking forward to getting the green light on getting the go ahead on whatever is going on, surgery or what have you. So yeah, looking forward to it, and just to get some answers. So yeah.
Yeah. Patrick, tell us the name of your injury and how it's currently affecting you.
Well, what's happened is my spine has it, like if you look from behind me, there's a sort of a bow in my spine, and it's compressing down on certain discs, which is it's pinching on nerves, and they're not sure if the discs are blown or if they have to go in there and separates parts of the spine. I don't know exactly, but it's just, yeah, it's been I've already had 3 MRIs, and then I had pinched nerves in my neck on my left side, and it's kind of creeped down, and now it's just now it's tough for me to walk. So Yesterday was a horrific day. I could only walk maybe 50 feet, 100 feet before I had to take a bit of a break, and then you got to readjust again. But nerve pain is something else, let me tell you. So
Absolutely.
get on that and see if they can do something for me. But thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. See, we're all pulling for Patrick because we know he's in immense pain and is dealing with it and still stays consistent by hitting the gym every single day. So that's what up. He does his part. All right, next up, Aaron. AK, how are you doing, bud?
Good morning, gang. I'm doing well. Just ready to jump at the bit, ready to collaborate with you guys and, just keep knocking it out of the park. I'm still at my parents. I'm leaving today, but just getting some work done in their woods in their back because there's like a bunch of trees that are down. So I'm playing lumberjack the past couple days here. And it's nice to just do some work out in nature, And then I'm lifting stuff and I'm using my muscles, man. It doesn't get much better when you're using your muscles, lifting shit, moving it around out in nature, right? So other than that, just feeling good this morning. Little bit of a head cold, but that definitely isn't anything to, call it in, or we don't call it in around here. We just work through things. Patrick's got, his back issues. We all got something going on, maybe different severities, because I definitely won't say I have something going on like Patrick does. So definitely appreciate that fact that he's here. And we're all just ready to chomp at the bit and hear what you have to say here, Aaron. So thank you for allowing me to check in.
Yeah. I'll just say how my day was yesterday. I went into the gym and I thought I was putting the bike on for 20 minutes and it was on power level 20 and I did it for a half hour. So I was sweating. I said I was going to take it easy because of the 1,200 burpees. I was sore and whatnot. I did anything but take it easy. I went hard as hell. When I'm sore, that's how I like to do it anyway. And I just went with it. I said, you know what? All right. One bike was broken, so I jumped on to another bike, and that's just the way it happened. I said it was meant to be. Then I'm just gonna go hard as hell, and then I busted out 35 sets of a total body workout. Push pull legs, 3 sets each. Push pull legs, 3 sets each. And busted out the 35 sets. But today, we are going to be dissecting 2 quotes that made a profound change in my life. And they correspond to each other beautifully. And I thought about them for months daily. I would be like, I've been thinking about them from every different angle and really dissecting them. I thought about them so much that I looked up all kinds of other quotes that relate to them. And so I'm going to say the 2 quotes and then read a page of quotes, and then we're going to discuss them. And I'll just get right into it. The first one is the famous one, especially in the personal development world, Victor Frankel. Between stimulus and, okay, let me just say, Victor Frankel spent 4 years in a concentration camp, and he was a psychoanalysis, and he recognized that they could take his human freedoms, but they couldn't take his thoughts and the way he viewed things. And it made a profound change. He said that the people that gave up, they would soon die. But the people who found purpose in the pain and suffering were the ones that survived. And so here's the quote: between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and freedom. Now, that is profound stuff. I heard it this way, that the space in between stimulus and response is awareness and your freedom to choose your response. That's where all your freedom, that's where all your power lies, in that space between stimulus and response. So, in between stimulus and response, you have the power to choose 4 different things: self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will. These are our higher faculties. Stephen Covey and Bob Proctor, I integrated Stephen Covey, Bob Proctor, and Victor Frankel together. Bob Proctor says our higher faculties, and I made a little acronym, WIPRIM: will, intuition, perception, reason, imagination, and memory as our higher faculties. Most people live by the dictates of the sensory world and let the sensory world of hearing, sight, smell, taste, touch dictate. But since we have higher faculties, we could tap into those, and that is how you evolve rapidly. You live by your higher faculties over the sensory world. And Stephen Covey says that calls it the clock and the compass, of the clock being time management and the compass being these higher faculties, these natural gifts, these endowments of self-awareness, imagination, conscience, and independent will. Now I'm going to read the Stephen Covey quote that I have for you. Every human has 4 endowments: self-awareness, conscience, independent will, and creative imagination. These give us the ultimate human freedoms, the power to choose, to respond, and to change. Stephen Covey also had another great quote saying there are 3 constants: choice, change, and principles. And I learned a lot about principles from Stephen Covey, and the principles behind the universal laws, or the universal laws of success and achievement. A principle-centered life is the way to lead. Principle-centered leadership. You have your principles. There's another quote that says, policies are many, principles are few. Policies always change, principles never do. And that's a great one, because you have to have the bedrock, the foundation has to be the principles. That is the foundation which you build your core values, core beliefs, and virtues on. You structure them on the principles. You're guided. We got to be guided by principles, guiding principles. All right. So what I did was I wrote a page of quotes for self-awareness, conscience, independent will, creative imagination, and choice, response, and change. So we'll get to what we can today. but I will hit some of the quotes I wrote down for self-awareness, and then we'll go around the room and talk about self-awareness. All right. Self-awareness. The first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. Nathaniel Brandon said that. The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. Lao Tzu said that. He has some freaking mind-blowing quotes. This was enlightened being right there. Wow, mind-blowing stuff. Let us not look back in anger, nor forward in fear, but around in awareness. James Thurber said that. Whatever we are waiting for, peace of mind, contentment, grace, inner awareness of simple abundance, it will surely come to us, but only when we are ready to receive it with an open and grateful heart. Sarah Ban Breathmatch said this. I don't even know some of these people. I just said, yep, I need that one. Yep, I need that one. You know, emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others, and your ability to use this awareness to manage your behaviors and relationships. Travis Bradbury. Here's a quote from Deepak Chopra. Enlightened leadership is spiritual if we understand spirituality not as some kind of religious dogma or ideology, but as the domain of awareness. Sorry, guys. But as the domain of awareness where we experience values like truth, goodness, beauty, love, and compassion, and also intuition, creativity, insight, and focused attention. I love that one. Reactions are unconscious beliefs. Peter Zuban. All beliefs are imagined limitations. Byron Katie. A thought is harmless until we believe it. Byron Katie. All right, and that's what I had for self-awareness. So let's go around the room and talk about awareness, because I heard Wes Watson say it like this: you are not your thoughts and emotions. You are the awareness behind your thoughts and emotions. You are the mental witness watching as your thoughts and emotions take place. You observe them with awareness. You're not your moods or feelings. You're not your body, right? You're not your name. That's a human construct. You are awareness. This is the most profound thing I think I ever freaking learned. You are awareness. Brandon Angel, what's up, bud? What do you got on awareness?
It's very helpful to look at things as though you are in a true manner. If you're off of the truth, you're never going to get to any real destination. And the truth really is that you're a spirit that has control over your cardinal features, which will be some of that thought, some of that feeling, some of that temptation, and you are also in control over the external factors that are happening to you, or happening for you more correctly, such as the challenges in your midst, and the weather, all the details Sun Tzu describes in The Art of War, right? Like all your challenges, all the things around you, all the settings, all the places that should be paid attention to, that many spiritual awarenesses do not pay attention to. And that's why we're here, because we're trying to become spiritual awarenesses that pay attention to more and calculate more and connect more dots and are aware of that truth that the matrix doesn't want you to have, that you're a spiritual, metaphysical entity somewhere that has control over this carnal being that has chemicals and that has hunger and that has all these different carnal needs, that essentially your discipline comes from either subtracting those or galvanizing them in an iron forged manner. So I do feel that concentrating on building that iron will, comma, awareness, comma, spirit is the ultimate best practice, and the most rawest and realist. And that's the one place. And anything exterior will be like, in muscle will be a result of that spiritual interior. So yeah, I do feel that knowing that helps you click all the gears into the right places, and having that real connection to the real truth is going to help you get real results in the end.
Yeah. Tapping into spirit and living by the dictates of having a high spirit and awareness when the ego is trying to edge its way in and mess things up. Ego, man. Awareness of, oh, wow, I'm being real egotistical right now. I operate from spirit. Sean Lynch, what you got on awareness, bud?
What's up, guys? I was just thinking, I think maybe awareness and detachment, like you were saying with Wes Watson, when he was saying, you aren't your body, you aren't your thoughts. That's the detachment part, right? If you have the detachment and you have the awareness of the problems, then you can fix them, right?
That's right.
And then I guess that puts the things that you need to change on the anvil that then, like Brandon was talking about, your will can smash like that hammer. So I think that's
yeah. We all have barriers that we put up, roadblocks we put in our way, but it's just you have to smash through that roadblock and climb over that obstacle, and then you bring that problem into awareness and say, hey, it's not really as bad as I imagined it.
Great quotes, Aaron. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Go crush it.
Oh yeah, are you going to work, bud?
Yeah, I gotta go leave.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
All right, you crush it. I know you will. I know you. All right, have a great day. Who's up next? Okay, you just screwed up the order of things by signing off. All right, Kevin.
Yeah, you guys are going deep today. Holy.
Yeah, man. Let's get into it.
I don't have any. I don't even have any poetic response to that like you guys have. That's pretty intense. But yeah, definitely. I mean, stimulus and response. I mean, I got to catch myself all the time. Anytime I'm starting to fall or get bad thoughts, or even situations that came up yesterday that what can I do about these? There's certain things you can't change, but you can change your response to it. Right. I just kind of let everything chill, be aware of everything that's happening, and then find the correct way to go, find the right answers.
Yeah, a lot of people are reactive in the space between stimulus and response. But when you realize, wow, I really do have the power to choose, and I could be responsible, able to respond. That's a level up. That's a level up.
Yeah, that's where I found myself, I think, was within that. So being able to catch myself before I respond, almost look at it like a piece of paper, and you write down, you got your stop methods, you stop, think about the facts, look it all over, and then you pick which way to go. So you can pick which road you want to go down, and I think that's I can see how this is how important it is to be aware of which when you come to the fork in the road, which way to go, and to be aware of each outcome on both sides. So you pick this way and you're going the wrong way. You pick this way, you're going the right way. But being more aware of what's down that road, and
what's your intuition say? That's another higher faculty. Intuition, man, it's a guiding force.
Yeah, listening to yourself for sure. But yeah, that's about all I got for that.
All right, okay, that's what's up. All right, next up is Patrick. You got on awareness.
Morning, guys. Good morning. Self-awareness and spirit are the forefront. They're the forefront of basically of this, and being able to understand your surroundings with the facts. I'm glad Kevin brought that up, because it is all about the facts. And being in tune with yourself and understanding where you're going is number one. That's number one. Where are you going, and what is the best route for yourself? And it's self-awareness and really getting into spirit. I for myself, letting go of ego, and really working on being aware of what's going on around you has helped me into places. But also truth, I guess, getting into truth as well, truth of your, like, it's almost like truth of your self-awareness. And I guess that goes back again to facts of, really looking at yourself in an honest, like in an honest way, an honest, true way of then being able to grow from there. Like, where are you at now, and what's the best way for you to grow? Right. I think
awareness. There you go.
Yeah, that is true. That's true awareness. So, yeah, really good topic. Like Kevin said, the topic is it's a very spiritual. You have to be very in tune with this topic. Very in tune. You have to almost, actually, you could meditate before getting into this topic. And
I did today. I did.
Yeah, like today, absolutely. And I guess for myself, lately, dealing with new areas in my life and dealing with, I've been handed something that I never thought I'd be handed. And being in a state of, I don't like to bring up fear, but when you, we're just talking, I'm just saying an example. I played junior A hockey. I was a very high caliber hockey player, very high caliber. Okay. And if I wasn't drinking and partying, my whole life could have been, very well could have been pro hockey, right? The ifs and the bullshit, whatever. But then being injured, after I completely changed my life, and then the tests of this little bit of fear, and then looking at self-awareness, and it's like, God damn, man, what is really going on in the world? Like, what is this? Because, man, it's like digging deep, and you're like, you can't do, and you have to use the word can't, you can't do everything you were able to do. You can't do it. And people, don't use the word can't. Fuck you, man. people are in, in wheelchairs and everything
Denial.
else.
Yeah,
Like
there are
it's serious. It's
limitations.
very, very serious. And to keep your self-awareness in check, like really keeping your self-awareness in check and realize and say, hey, you have limitations right now, and really believing in yourself. Doesn't matter what anybody else perceives you or whatever, but believing in you and where are you going, right? How much, to dig for strength inside of you and finding that self-awareness is, it's massive, massive to create gains, but
Absolutely.
facts too. I'm dealing with some things like on Instagram right now. I'm just like, what is this? Like, or my shit even going? There's crazy things that will mess with your self-awareness. Like, you know what I mean? They're like these thoughts that come into your mind, because the mind is such a powerful place. And then your mind will kind of trick you. And it's like, what? What are you thinking? And like then recentering inside yourself and like, get the facts, motherfucker. Get the facts, the true facts, and really going from there. And that's the thing with life. You really have to be centered and that's the thing. Like that's what all this work is about, is the honesty and the facts to, to move forward, to get that growth. Hopefully this is all coming together. Hopefully you're understanding this, but to really be centered in yourself, and giving out the
Aware.
best, the best energy you can from being aware of what's going on with you, right?
You and everyone else around you.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
higher dimensions of awareness, it's real, because I know from where I came from, which was deep-seated addiction, to today, it's like night and day. So there are higher levels of awareness. I know you know it, because you come from the same
And
sort of
like
background.
there's like self-awareness, and then being pure with no substance, like we were talking about yesterday, and feeling different energies, and being really, I guess it's being centered and grounded, like really being truly grounded, and not drifting. I guess you could call it drifting, almost drifting into this other space, and all sorts of things can actually, like, even like a bad dream or something. Let's just say you have a nightmare and you wake up and you're like, what the fuck was that? And it's like past this like negative energy to you, and it's like, that wasn't even real. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing thinking about that? But it was like, it's so, the mind is so profound. It's like fuckery sometimes. It's like, dude, get recentered and like go. Like, that's why Kevin said the other day, he's like looking at the sky, looking around. He's like, yeah, motherfucker, go for a walk, man. Like, you gotta get It's like it's actually really cool to understand it though. And this is spiritual, okay? This is spirituality at its greatest form, when you can realize, you're like, man, what is going on? Like, I'm in like some weird state of like a whirlwind, and you're just like, okay. And like, if I miss the gym, if I don't go to the gym and don't like get that energy focused into me and like reroute, like get on that straight line, I'm a lost motherfucker. I'm just a lost motherfucker if I don't release that energy and get
I'm
grounded.
aware of that too. If I don't, now I'm just so hyper aware that if I don't work out or work hard or sweat, man, is my energy so low. And I look at it in disgust. Like, no, I am not existing in that low vibe and energy when all I have to do is some intense physical exercise for even a half hour, and boom,
Yeah.
I'm right exactly where I want to be.
Yeah. And and you know,
It's a small investment for huge gains.
and that's why you keep it simple and you repeat. You train, you repeat, and you do it over again, and you study the positive, all these affirmations. And when you are, see, I think what it is there's that field of negative energy. It's in the world. It's just there. It's like good and evil. It's honestly, it's like good and evil. It's like you're get kind of sucked back into this space of like, you're like, what is, like I said something to Kevin this morning. I woke up earlier and I'm like, okay. I got up and then I'm like, okay, I've got whatever. I had some time, a good chunk of time. I went back and I woke up in this like haze.
Kevin.
And I said something to Kevin and like, he's like, what are you talking about, bro? And I'm like, and then I got up, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I think I had like this, like a night or some sort of dream. But I think some dreams are in your subconscious mind.
Absolutely.
You don't even remember, when you're like, when you wake up and you're like, what was I dreaming last night? You can't quite remember the dream. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin has his hand up. So before he loses his
go ahead.
thought,
Go ahead. I'm drifting a little bit, but go ahead, Kev.
A little bit, but we'll get to Aaron next.
I think I missed a little bit of what I was going to say, but I think you just hit it on the nail for me today. Was kind of lost my thought here, but where are we going with that? A couple things. So you brought up being sore and pain and things that you can't do, and I mean that's part of the awareness too. And I mean I see it as I was talking to Aaron this morning about going on with the sickness for days and stuff, and it comes down, and then coming down to awareness is when you have these evils or thoughts or imaginary, or you got to make choices during the day, and before it used to be drugs and alcohol would level you down, so that that first, it's like when you see that the drinking commercial where they put the glass in front and they're driving and they put the next glass and it slowly gets foggier. It's like that. So you have like alcohol and drugs, and now you have the first cloud that you have to get through to figure out your path, right? And then you put sickness or something, and then you got another glass and another cloud in front of you. You got family problems, there's another glass. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's like how Brendan always says about sharpening your point. It's basically keeping ourselves sharp enough that we're able to cut through all the bullshit. So I mean, there's gonna be a cloud that will never that I'm not gonna say never. I'm just gonna say there's a cloud there that's probably gonna be one that's gonna stick around for a long time, like your back pain, or like a major illness, or maybe a major trauma that you're always gonna have to cut through in life. But as long as we're not stacking up our freaking clouds in front of that one, it makes it easier. And then we have to be sharper, that when our brain does have that cloud in front of it, that we're able to freaking cut through it.
Yeah. We have to be aware of that pain and trauma, because that's the only way that we could solve it, is the awareness of it and the awareness of how to deal with it.
What's funny?
Brandon has his hand up, so before he loses that, are you good, Gavin?
Just wanted to say one quick thing.
Okay.
You just basically summed it up for me right there, with being so aware of what it is, because we always get even I
how are
get
you gonna
stuck,
change it if you're
stuck
not
in this
even
funk, and I'm looking around like, what the fuck is going on? what's happening right now? What, and then so to be super aware of what that is, so I can just cut right through it and fucking carry on. That's cool. So I'm going to be more aware today, and I'm gonna cut
There
through
you
this.
go.
Shit. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Brandon.
think
Sorry.
of awareness today. Think of awareness. All right,
Obviously.
Brandon, what you got, bud?
So on that refinement point, man, I think one thing that will really make a quantum leap for everybody in this awareness thing and life and personal development is to be aware that you're living a list of lies. You actually are. Be aware that the TV programming is really not helping you. Be aware that the video game trapping is really not helping you. Be aware of the fucking rudeness in the streets and the egotistical plants and matrix downloads of narcissism that are everywhere. That's the number one thing that they want you to get. Be aware of that. Be aware that your parents might be lying to you about certain shit. Be aware that the governments might be lying to you about certain shit. Be aware that 99% of the people are actually living a fucking lie. If you went out into nature, dude, if you went out into nature and just like lived a natural life for a couple of years, you would come back to society and just be like, holy shit, these people are sick in all these different ways. This is unnatural. This is weirdo. This is weird. But these are our daily realities. And so we don't see it that way. But your subconscious probably does see it that way to a certain degree. And it registers within you that I am living a fucking lie somewhere in all these certain places. And I think to just step outside of that and look at it, and then it's a conquering right there. You've made a quantum leap and you've conquered half of that shit that everyone else is struggling with just by being aware of it and standing outside of it. So I think when I think of awareness, some little kids out there. Oh, Patrick, did you have something? Go ahead, torch passed.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that's why I mentioned the dream. Okay, the dream. Being aware, like this is what I mean in the moment. Being aware of like what's happening to you right now. Like what's happening to me right now that's making this, causing me to feel this way. Like no matter what time or whatever, don't wake up in this, like get centered, get grounded right now and figure out what's going on. Because it can send, that's when the whirlwind starts to go. So that's what I'm talking about, an example, because I've been very grounded and centered for the past, like really been aware. Really been aware this past little bit, like really been spiritual and aware. And then last night, waking up, I woke up, I'm like, what's going on? But that even in that moment right there, put your feet on the floor and be like, whoa, what's going on with me right now? Being aware. Being aware at the 2:30 in the morning. Being aware at 2:30 in the morning.
Internal dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at that moment when you're just bagged out, you're sitting on the edge of your bed wondering what's going on. Dig deep, get centered, and be aware of what's going on with you then. Because what I'm saying is, let's just say a dream brings up the past and all this shit, right? Brings up feelings. Right? Feelings. And you're like, okay, get aware. I've been missing my. Yeah.
I missed
it. Yeah, but that's what you need to do in every moment. Okay. Be aware in any time, when you're all tired and you're like, oh, get grounded, motherfucker, because something weird's going on right now. Be self-aware at every moment is what I'm getting at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's where the flow state to flow state productivity companion is a must. That's why I was saying, when you look at nature, everything's a fitness freak, but it's not like what the lie is to us, the normality of the lie is to us is what fitness is to everything in nature. So we got it totally backwards, fitness and productivity, a constant productivity of survival, of a survival type drive is what we're supposed to be cognated with. You know what I mean? But now everybody is cognated with a fucking chill, kick back. I'm going to learn from a classroom, like that works. Or you get
that's
over
not
year
my
after
thing.
year of it not working. You know what I mean? Like just insanity, totally thinking you're gonna do the same thing over and stuff's gonna get better. And that's why like there's a brake system on us, and part of that brake system is that they don't want you to do what you need to do, which is fitness all day, or flow state to flow state productivity all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well put. All right. Next up is AK. Aaron, what do you got on awareness, bud?
All wonderful stuff, guys. Well, with awareness, you could go deep, like what you guys were just doing, but also when it comes to awareness, I like to, break it down, simplify it first. And in that regard, I break it down to 3 types of awareness. You got interpersonal awareness, right? Relationships between you and other people. Then you have intrapersonal relationship with yourself that are intrapersonal awareness within yourself. You got your thoughts, feelings driving your actions and your intentions. And then you have environmental awareness, right? Your surroundings, which you should always have your environmental awareness going, right? Just, make sure you know your surroundings and where you are and everything that can come from that, whether it be good or bad, right? You keep an eye out for dangers, right? The human mind likes to just keep aware of dangers, even though they might not be really threatening dangers. You have to kind of become aware of that, right? Like, and then with the interpersonal, getting feedback from whoever you're talking to, right? That's key. When it comes to other people, do they want to speak with you? Are you getting what you want out of the interaction? Is it becoming a relationship that you want? Or, are you not getting it? Is it imbalanced? Yeah. Is it a codependent thing? Like we talked about the other day?
A social awareness.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Intrapersonal, with yourself, are you taking a step back, having that mental witness, making sure that you are on the right track, you are working, the optimistic side of your brain, really. Yeah. And then with the environmental, that should always be running, right? I mean, all of us are in our house right now. We're safe. The environmental awareness, the threat level of your environment right now is low, right? So that's down right now, but that can change. So that's kind of just surface level awareness. And also you can, there's that observing, which is the stimulus, right? And then becoming aware of what the effects could be with respect to you is your response to that, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then one last part, you have, your awareness running in real time here, where I'm just kind of becoming aware of you guys, reading you guys as I speak. Then you can have awareness of the future of all 3 of those aspects, with respect to your future. I'm going to be going, I'll say somebody's going to be going to a public area, well, what do you have to become aware of when you go to that public area, right? A person should always, when you go into a public building, this is kind of this is just an example, but when you go into a public building, you should always know where all the exits are. And an example of that is there was a nightclub in Long Island, New York, that it started on fire, and everybody ran to the front door, and congested the front door, and people died and stuff. So if you cased the joint and knew where the back door was or something, or knew where a side door is, then you could shoot for that.
That's like the
And then
Long Island, but I mean the Rhode Island
is it Rhode
fire
Island?
where 100 people died. Yeah, man, the one where
Okay,
Great
Rhode
White
Island. I knew it was an
Larry,
island of sorts.
yeah, Rhode Island. It's right
Okay.
underneath me, man.
Okay.
I go there all the time.
Yeah, that's
I'm back
tragic.
and forth to Rhode Island.
And there was a back
Yeah, the
door.
nightclub
People could have got out
there.
the back door.
I've been in that nightclub. I can't even think of the name of it right now. I've seen shows there though.
The one last thing is then you have the real time, your future, and then just becoming aware of the past stuff, right? Because sometimes you don't, when you're in a real time interaction with somebody, you might not pick up everything. Then when you go back and kind of just relive that interaction a little bit, you're like, oh, okay, well, you can become aware of stuff, right? If you take a step back and then reflect on it, reflecting helps your awareness. That's all I got, guys.
Yeah, it's a natural endowment and gift, this awareness. We'll go to
It's a skill.
Brandon, and then we're going to get into conscience, independent will, and imagination.
I
If we
think
have time, we'll see.
I think as while we're on awareness, it must be mentioned because I want our crew to be the toughest Spartan crew that ever walked the planet, and we will be.
Yeah.
We are well on our way. You know, very proud to be here, and I would like to say too that um, so as a cowboy kid growing up in Albuquerque in the 80s, you would have heard, hey, listen, man, you need to know every exit, everything that could be used as a weapon, everything that could be used as this, everything that could be used as that. You need to train your brain that when you put that first step on the street, that you see behind the bush, that you see over there, it's actually not hard to do. And you just need to train your brain to do that. And if you're going to be running with us, you need to be cognizant of all of these things at all times, all the time, no matter what. That's it. That's what you have to do. So I just wanted to donate that to my super crew.
Hyper awareness.
Yeah.
All right.
You need to be. You need to know all those details. And I loved what you said, AK, on analyze what you already know. Reflect on each situation, especially if there's a matrix glitch and you catch something and it makes you feel weird. You definitely, there's some people that just don't pay attention to the signs. Can you read the signs? They're there. You know what I mean? They're there. So, it's like be someone who can read the signs, see around the corner, down the street, over the mountaintop, you know what I mean? And come back with that kind of data that's actually useful.
Drug and alcohol awareness is huge to me because
Totally.
that is what we're lacking. We think, oh, it's a party time. No, man, it's participating in stagnation and death, especially today in the healthcare system. Just feeds into it. It's so enraging and frustrating, but to bring awareness to it is our job here as humans that want to serve people and help them get better. So that's one thing. All right, Kevin, and then Patrick, and then we'll get into conscience.
Yeah, I was just gonna say quick about being as Brennan said, walking down the street and keeping your six. Same as your energy, right? You can sense energies, you can be aware of different energies, you can feel different energies. So I mean, it's like that guy walking up down the street, you can already feel someone back there coming back on you, right? So it's that energy as well, and what other people give off, and then being aware that I don't fucking want this energy around me sometimes. So or being and like I said before about your battery, being aware of your battery life. So don't drain yourself out. Make sure you get recharged before you go full flatline. And that's all I got. Go ahead.
There you go, Kevin. There you go. Patrick, what you got?
Well, you can go really deep on this here. Your awareness of your subconscious mind Okay. Your awareness of your subconscious mind because of the information given in the past. Your subconscious mind is a sponge of information. So if you really want to get deep into spirituality and really get deep into this, how about being aware of yourself, of your self-conscious mind? Okay. And really digging into that and being aware of, I guess, being aware of every thought, and being aware of processing, your subconscious and conscious mind.
Yes, the subconscious is the subjective, impressionable, emotional mind. That's where it's impressed with the emotion, where the
Yes.
conscious mind is the intellect and is expressed.
Yes.
So now that we know this, we gotta tap into that emotion as much as we can. All right, Aaron,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Yeah,
Then
I'm
we'll
just going
get
to say
into
one more
conscience,
thing.
and we'll have a lot to say about this.
I'm going to say one more thing. One energy. You can shut off, like Kevin said, I don't want to be around this energy. I completely understand that. But being aware of, let's just say let's just say you're very the person, and you know that they want to be in a good place. They want to be in a good place. So being aware of what they're going through. Being aware
That's
of,
right.
hey,
Right.
God damn, what's this motherfucker going through right now? How do I
Right. How
readjust
can
this?
we? Yeah,
Yeah, how
it's
do we
our
readjust?
job to bring them up. We don't sink down to their level. We bring them up to ours.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
the
how
emotion,
to serve them, really.
and the emotion that they're going. What is that person dealing with? I dealt with
Yeah,
somebody
why are
yesterday.
they low? Why are they
Yeah,
low?
what are they going through? What are they going through right
You
now?
never know what
Right?
someone's going through. You never really know.
Being aware of their
some people
emotion.
are going through some real hard stuff
Heavy
that
shit.
they're
Heavy
not
shit.
gonna share. They're not gonna share.
Yeah. And you gotta
Because
you gotta be,
the people that are going through the hardest shit, they don't talk about it. They don't talk about that openly,
and they should be.
and they should be. I mean, to people who genuinely want to help them. I mean,
Yeah.
if they talk to someone who wants to fuck them over and manipulate them, well, it's going to make it worse.
Yeah. So I guess,
and there's plenty of
I'm
those
saying
idiots out there too.
being aware of other people's I guess surroundings, and being aware of what they're going through. That's all I got.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, Kay, what you got?
Wow. Yeah, I'm just trying to write down. I said this the other day, though. When you're in that flow state mode, you can get 3 or 4 brilliant ideas just all clumped together, and boom, in your brain, you're like, I'm just trying to write everything down. Yeah, you're right, Patrick. It is a complex, very complex topic. And if you think about it, awareness is a skill. And I'll just use the word, I'll replace awareness with being cognizant, right? Cognizant of everything. And
I'm sorry, Aaron. No, you go. But I need to say something. Go ahead. Sorry, bud.
And then there's the multi-layers of awareness, right? Because I mean, look at like a fighter pilot or something that he's got to be aware of his cluster on his dash. You got to be aware of, how the plane's flying. He's got to be aware of, his flying fleet, his enemies, all this stuff. Or like, say for instance, when I used to pitch in baseball, bases loaded, all the shit that I had to be aware of, all the guys on every base. I'm looking all around. I'm picking up the sign from the catcher. I'm making sure I throw it to the outside corner. All this stuff that it really is a skill that you to pick and choose which stimuli could be a threat or which stimuli could benefit you if you act a certain way upon it, right?
Absolutely.
Just replacing the word with replacing awareness with being cognizant is a good one, but they're really interchangeable. That's all I had. Thanks, guys.
That's some good stuff. And I wanted to say before we get to Brandon is since you're hyper aware of your own energy, it makes you hyper aware of the energy of those around you. And when someone is, participating in some low vibing thoughts or some low vibing actions, and you're aware of their low vibing energy, but you're also hyper aware of those high vibing ones because that's your tribe. They're an attractive force, and you stick to them because that's who you have the most in common with. It is your vibe attracts your tribe. How true it is. When you're on the same frequency as someone else, you just connect. You connect, and now it's our job to notice and realize, wow, this person is a real low vibing person. They must be going through something. They're going through something. And so it's our job to give them some positive affirmations and observe their where they're at and lift them up and just bring them up. Try to bring them up in any way and bring something into their awareness that they have the blinders on, that they couldn't see. Open their eyes, and realization after realization, they will start to come up. They will rise up, Brandon, what you got, bud?
Yeah, so this is all super excellent stuff, and I really love how you came in and made that importance of discerning between who's good and who's bad, right? And if you do come to contact with a bad person who just wants to manipulate you, you can end up being lost and in a worse situation, very, very quickly. And I want to bring together to Patrick's point to that, right? It's like if your subconscious mind recognizes everything, it's calibrated by your exposure and your actions, right? So it's recognizing everything that's going on, and you can't really argue with it at all. It's just taking it. It's the sponge, is the word Patrick uses. Perfect word, right? Yeah. It's just a sponge, right? And it's exposure and action. If you fail, if you're not strong enough, if you're not aware enough to identify the toxic, manipulative people around you, then your subconscious is recognizing that you're unable to set that boundary, that you're unable to classify that person correctly, and that you have that weakness. And the sponge just keeps bleeding that back into your system. And it's such an important hinge. Way before there was Amber Turd, my friend says, all you have to do, this old schooler, when I'm a young person, says, swerve the turds. And I just want to say it every single time because it is so important. And we do have this new creative Swedish scientist, Kia Karlberg, who figured this whole thing out. You go anti-narcissism.org. In the blog, read that, and then in the blog session, there's 63 things. So if you have trouble discerning, if you've been programmed by one of these people that's your parent or who knows, that you just watch the TV too much because they're right there too. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. And you think you might have a difficulty discerning who's going to run you around in circles and waste a decade of your freaking life to where standing there saying, what a fucking dummy I am, both subconsciously and primary consciously. No, you know what I'm saying? Go through the checklist that I just named off right now and figure the fucking analyze your past experiences, just like Aaron said, and bring this whole thing together with the awareness that if you fail to set this boundary, you can't respect yourself. You're not a complete package. You're going out into the world with a major hole, probably the most major hole you can possibly have. And there's so many people that are just they will listen to a fucking convenient lie all day long, stand in line to do it, but to actually hear a hard truth, man, they will run from that lightning speed away, because and then this is the principal point of strength. You need to fucking close that hole and galvanize yourself against that shit. And in truth, that's how you do that, and then not have that problem ever again. And that now it's just stacking success and bricks with no cracks, by brick by brick by brick.
That's what's up, Brandon. And Brandon has a website on narcissism, and he's studied this stuff and looked into it. Brandon, how can we find this website?
Oh, well, I mean, my mom's one. That's how I'm an expert. But like, you don't want to be an expert. You just want to go through the checklist and say bang, 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 bang. Oh shit, there's 8, 10 things I need to
on that checklist.
You know, I don't necessarily need to label this person, but I do need to be cognitive and awareness of the fact that they apply to a very well recognized behavior pattern. Right. You know what I mean? That comes from an insecurity within them. And then once you start to understand all these details, now you are free of it. That you're no longer ignorance or controlled by it. You completely understand it, so you can stand it. You know what I mean? Now you can stand it. I know what this is. I can deal with this strategically. I can start to cultivate a boundary here. You know what I mean? And going back to that subconscious thing and reading people and being aware of who's around you, you can cultivate telepathy. There's books about
it.
You know what I'm saying? You can cultivate
a form of telepathy. You know where they're mentally at without knowing their thoughts. I mean, not that kind of telepathy, but mentally, you know where they're sunk down so low.
Yeah, and if you can't set the boundary and identify good people, you could just forget about all those kinds of abilities, because that's the first step. You have to learn, your subconscious has to know that you're someone that shit doesn't work on anymore, because you completely understand it.
Boom. Nice. Brandon's always bringing the fire. Do you guys want to get into conscience, or are we going to just stick to awareness the whole time? All right, let's get into conscience. Well, I'll read a page. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about this. You know, Wes Watson says that conscience is the authentic voice of God. Kind of yourself. You're kind of a God in yourself, that God consciousness, you know. All right, let me read these quotes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quotes on conscience. Get right into it. I love those who can smile in trouble, who can gather strength from distress and grow brave by reflection. 'Tis the business of small minds to shrink, but those whose heart is firm and whose conscience approves of his conduct will pursue their principles unto death. That's Leonardo da Vinci. Okay, I love this one. There is a higher court than the courts of justice, and that is the court of your conscience. It supersedes all other courts. Gandhi said that. This is great too. They're all great. Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it politic? Vanity asks the question, is it popular? But conscience asks the question, is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe nor politic nor popular, but must take it because it is right. Martin Luther King said that. Through pride, we are ever deceiving ourselves, but deep down below the surface of the average conscience, a still, small voice says to us, something is out of tune. That's your conscience speaking to you. Carl Jung said that. There is nothing more dangerous than the conscience of a bigot. George Bernard Shaw said that. George Bernard Shaw is one of the most hardcore minds out there, man. I read some of his quotes and I'm like, boom, mind freaking blown. Really, this guy has some fire quotes. If you like hardcore people, you'll love George Bernard Shaw. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. The conscience is your higher court, is the highest court, especially if you're living right, then it is the highest court because the system is fucked up and flawed, full of holes. All right, let's talk about conscience. We'll go around the room, start in order. Brandon's up first. Conscience.
Conscience is the voice of God. It's specific for you. It's incredibly dynamic, and it's been scientifically identified to be different and the same at the same time, because it's the same, but it applies to each situation differently. What is right, what you just said, what Martin Luther just said, you must do it because it is right. It's the main statement in Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. It is the main statement in Stoicism. It is the main statement for successful people. Do the right thing. Napoleon Hill expands it to it needs to be a win-win-win-win situation for all parties involved, or it's not engaged, And so I think, is it right? Is it just? Is it fair? If you marry yourself and put your soul committed to truth and justice and fairness, and those are all the Bushido samurai principles and the Native American principles. Oh, look at that. These universal, true, top-notch things, and make yourself a complete package for that. Well, now you're part of conscious. So you can actually become really part of conscious, and you get that, you reprogram yourself to that good code that could advance into the good system that has a very good antivirus program. So if you have any bad code, you're not getting in. That's conscious all the way to the science of it. What's up, Hua? No. But yeah, I think that if we let conscience be our guide, if people will just please start listening to your conscience and stop listening to the TV, and stop listening to the weirdo, what everyone's doing. When all the cows are running this direction and you run this direction, you logically get better plants, and then if you go this direction and really start doing something creative, now you're no longer a cow.
Listening to the noise blocks the retention of your conscience. I mean, there's so much noise out there. Don't you want to listen to yourself? Don't you want to get to know yourself? There's a small voice inside your head, and that should be the most interesting freaking place to travel in the universe, because it's part of the universe. Get to know it. Listen to it. Listen, your conscience, if you quiet yourself and still yourself, your conscience, ask yourself, what are the 3 things I got to change in my life? And it will tell you the 3 things that you must change in your life. And then once you fulfill those, it will demand more of you because it wants to preserve you. It's part of your subconscious mind. It's almost like tapping into it and listening to it, because it's always going to demand more of you. Oh, you did that. Now you got to do this. That's what your conscience is going to, oh, it's not going to lie to you. It knows what you need to do to better yourself. Conscience congruent living turns confusion to clarity. That's alignment. That's you all know that's Wes Watson. Yeah. Patrick's up next.
Yeah, you have to be, go back to awareness of your conscience.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, like
they're interconnected. All of these higher faculties are interconnected, and one hand washes the other. One higher faculty washes the other.
I have to stress right now, this is very complex. This isn't like, your conscious mind, your thoughts, awareness, they're all tied together. And that's what I meant this morning about keeping it simple and being grounded. Being grounded and not, I'm telling you, straight up, keep it simple, man. Because if you start blasting off keep your shit, keep your shit together and stay grounded. Yeah, listen to your conscious 100%. But don't get too listen to your conscious and your true conscience. Because if you believe in certain things and if you don't believe in something, don't fucking go down that road. If in your heart you don't believe in it, right? In your heart, if you don't believe in it and it isn't working for you in a certain area, then stick with another area that you believe in. And that's your awareness. Be aware of what you believe in and don't get too scattered.
Yeah, right? But be subject
People have different ideas
too. If
people have different ideas and different lifestyles, everything else, people have different activities, different it goes, the list goes. So man, you can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, right? But what are you grounded in? What are you focused on? What are your beliefs? Okay, and I'm just going to make an example. Brandon brought something up at the beginning of the meeting of having an actual like a treatment center, of renting a place and having a real place for real therapy and real
help,
one-on-one growth. Like, let's say a mindset and fitness place for people to go to for a month. Now, and see, that's where I'm at in my heart. One-on-one people grinding it out, being there, and not this fantasy fuckland on whatever.
Patrick, there are so many bloody leeches out there looking to make a buck on other people's misery and suffering. These freaking wet rats.
Yeah.
Oh man, they need some fucking arsenic.
So what I'm saying is, have your conscience, listen to it, and follow to where it truly wants to go. Like, where do you want to be, right? Where do you want to be, and what do you want to do? And focus on that and your beliefs, right? So that's where I'm at, big time. I like myself. I like real. What's cool about video games? Nothing. Nothing cool about video games.
Try to tell that to my girl's 10-year-old son. Man, you should have heard him yelling at that screen last night. He's driving me freaking bonkers.
I mean, that's just one man's opinion. But somebody asked me the other day, I'm like, yeah, and what's cool about video games? They're like, what? I'm like, nothing.
Nothing, not a fucking thing.
Because Kevin's got his hand up. Kevin's got his hand
Man,
up.
that made me laugh out loud when you texted that to the thread the other day. I was like, that's perfect. There is nothing.
Anyways, that's what I've got, brother. That's what I've got. That's where I'm at.
That's what's up.
Okay,
That's
so
what's up.
I have to tap into this video game comment right now
Oh,
because
are you an addict?
well, just 1 second here, because you guys are gonna blow your fucking mind right now, okay?
All
So
right.
I'm literally looking through some things about neuroplasticity and shit for tomorrow. Do you know what number one rewire your brain and neuroplasticity is? Guess what number one is? Play
Oh.
video games.
Oh, what? I thought it
Play
was
video games.
repetition.
Well, listen, the benefits associated with gaming include improvements in motor coordination, visual recognition, memory and reaction time, reasoning, decision making, and problem solving skills, resilience, cooperation, and team participation.
I'll take
So-
juggling over that. At least it's real.
I just thought it was funny because there does have a lot of benefits playing video games. Now it does say which
yeah, but
What are the
all right, now
what are the
read
negatives? What are the
things that
negatives
aren't-
about video
read the
games?
negatives, right?
Yeah.
I want to hear the negative list.
I think there's negatives to anything here though, isn't there?
Oh,
Ah,
100%.
Yeah,
no,
when
I'm
you're
good at
sitting
that.
on your ass for 5 hours playing video games, that's a major negative.
Oh yeah, reaction though. Yeah, they no, I'll just comment on that quickly. Hand-eye coordination would probably be through the fucking roof. Like, you know what I mean? It would be through the roof, but what I'm talking about, how I'm looking at it is fantasy.
Yeah, it's just
It's fucking
another form of entertainment that sucks up all your time and wastes your life.
Yeah, 100%. I'd rather jump on a dirt bike and go hit some fucking hit a track. You know what I mean? Instead of like pretending I'm on a dirt bike.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's
I'd
where I'm at.
rather
I just
read
thought that
some-
was
well,
funny. I keep running.
At this stage in my life, I'd like to read spiritual literature because I feel massive gains after that. You know, but they
Yeah,
don't
that's right,
have
though.
they don't have a
Positives and
philosophy
negatives.
video game. Who's next? AK, Aaron, Conscience, tapped in. What is it, Kevin? What'd you say? Who's next? Oh, Brandon.
Oh, well, I
Brandon
just
had
wanted to
something.
say I'm
Okay.
really
He's coming
glad
in
that
hot.
you read that list off, Kevin, because I know of some young people that are stuck on the video games, and I'm glad there's a good side to it, you know, and I'm glad there's a good side to it. And I think, and you know, at least video games register as a you know, the thing about video games is they've missed the producers of video games, attention producers of video games. You have missed a great opportunity to actually give these young people all kinds of wisdoms and examples and models that could actually work fucking wonders in their life. But no, you're just unconsciously not listening to your conscience, making total fucking garbage plays for every single move of the whole damn thing. You know, as garbage as possible, just so you can get some kind of shock value. I mean, talk about fucking shallow. Let me make some video games. Give me the budget. Watch how you know what I'm saying? It's like, thank God this guy made us a fucking game. You know what I mean? Like every parent who's already fighting with their kids. There's a website I'll give you, voodoobreaker.com. Voodoobreaker.com. Get the voodoo off of you. No.
Oh, voodoo breaker. Voodoo,
Torch path.
voodoo, we do.
Torch path.
Who's up?
Am I going?
AK.
Hey, hi guys.
AK spray.
Your conscience. Okay, well, there's a driver of your conscience, correct? And the proper driver of your conscience should be the golden rule, right? where, you know, you want the best out of everybody. You only want what you want for yourself, what you want for others, and that's it, right? Now,
Right.
your conscience is also, but your conscience, the bad thing about it is your conscience is built by your environment, right? So let's say you grew up in a, what's that word? Where your dad was polyamorous, right? He's got 3 wives, and you grew up in that. So your conscience adopts the idea that that's proper. 3 wives is proper until you meet other people outside that realm, you know, they give you feedback that that's not right. That's not right, you know? So it's a lot of environmental conditioning that happens with your conscience. And like I was saying, it should be the golden rule, but you know, some people, they're not, you don't have, well, I mean, the awareness or the knowledge that, you know, how to properly treat people, perhaps, right? Where else do I want to get with that? Another thing, trauma with people's conscience, it can drown it out, basically, where they once did have a conscience, but just so much trauma has happened to them where it basically blocks it all, right? Where, just say, for instance, let's go extreme, you were raped or held hostage or something, right? So you could have utter disdain for, you know, if you were female, men, you know, in general, because you were raped by a man, and you have this cloud of negative thinking over your conscience that just straight up blocks it. And I do not blame those people for being conditioned that way. You know, what I do blame them for is staying there and buying into that type of thing. And then with the video games, right? I guess what we're getting at is, at the core of itself, video games aren't bad. It's the relationship a person has with them. Right. Like, yeah, if they were just doing, and there is video games out there that help a kid with their math, the reading and stuff. So if a kid was doing that for just a half an hour, you know, it also did their reaction time and that critical thinking in real time, I'm all for that. But if they're, you know, if their main goal is to get home from school, throw the backpack on the bed, and jump right onto the video game, that's not right.
That
You know,
is
that's
the
mom and
little
dad should
kid,
be doing
the
better
10-year-old here. 10 hours the other day he was playing the video games. It was driving me nuts. But he doesn't do it that often. But the other day, 10 hours straight of video games.
Yeah,
I'm sick of hearing them yell at freaking screen.
Yeah, exactly. I had a friend's kid that threw his controller through the wall, through the drywall. Shit.
This kid like, broke what? A couple TVs.
Oh, he was really far in the game. He was really far. I was like, no, he shouldn't be throwing. That's him down the road hitting his significant other because he doesn't get his way. That's what that is. That's what that will translate to. And she was like, oh my God.
Yeah, sometimes he cries, like legit cries in frustration.
Like,
well, they're talking to their other friends, and sometimes this bad
that's the thing too.
Gets in and just, you know, one bad apple spoils the bunch.
They're trying to one-up each other.
And he's an older kid that gets off on making these younger kids frustrated.
They're trying to one-up each other.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or actually legit verbally abusing them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had. So, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick's up.
Yeah, no. For sure, there's positives and negatives to every action or everything in life, right? Everything in life. And 100, I fully agree with Aaron. Yeah, but kids playing, you know, whatever for an hour, but that isn't the case lately.
That's good.
From what
Yeah.
from what I'm seeing,
Dave.
okay, I'm seeing fully grown men
Ugh.
that look like tubs of shit on a fucking screen. No, straight up.
Oh, I know. I know a
Yeah.
few of them. That's why I laugh.
Yeah,
I
right. I know.
identify.
And it's like, dude, you're eating burritos, drinking Coca-Cola, and you got like a straight spare tire. And
Yeah.
you're talking like,
Or floor.
but like the zone, like it's creepy. They got this headset set on, and they're like straight
Grown men.
robotic. They're robots, dude. Like just like,
Disgusting.
and they're talking on their thing, and they
I
don't
can't
even
respect
move.
any grown man that wants to. I just can't.
I can't do it, man.
For
Like,
hours.
you know, and everybody
This
everybody
video
has
game's
their
so
own.
cool, but I'm gonna treat myself like a freaking trash bag.
And your kids are watching that. That's your leading by example. Come on, man. Come on. But at the same time, I fully agree with Aaron. You know, your young kids coming home, and you know their parents let them play some video games, you know, here and there and whatever. Keep it recreational, but it's a massive addiction, and it's a massive problem, and people are being trapped in their basements. I've heard of people stay on these things for 3 days straight.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
And it's laziness. It's like encourages laziness.
Yeah,
Physical laziness. I think it's just a mental stagnation too, because you're staring at something that is not reality.
And you always got to wonder too, who puts up the positive affirmations, who puts up the positive info on video games, who did that? I want to know, right? Who put, right? You know what I mean? All these ultra rich bullshit that put up whatever they want to support their own gain, right? So you gotta wonder. I don't want to put any fuckery into this, but it's scary. You know, like you said yesterday, the world is a hurting unit.
It sure is. Sure is. And video games is just one of them. The typical American diet, that's another one. The laziness, the entertainment, the list goes on and on and on. The medical system. Brandon's got his hand up. What's up?
I just wanted to offer a practical idea that whatever the benefits. Oh, and you know what Patrick said about considering the source, I also consider the source. And I bet you it is someone related to the industry. And I bet you there is a benefit in it for them to write that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And people need to start considering the source more often. They need to start not just be like, all you really know is that someone said that. It doesn't make it true. You just know that they said that. It doesn't mean it's true. You know, but some of those benefits I could see rationing, but I just wanted to offer like a practical curriculum of excess. If you're doing it longer than you can do a gym session, you're doing it too long, right? So if it's gonna be a part of your life, it should be, you know, within a natural limitation so that it doesn't become toxic in activity, right? And you're just getting the benefits that way. You know, and I think if someone can hold it like that, then it's cool. And because I saw like during the pandemic, kids being totally, you know, they went through a thing. A lot of young kids, depending on their age, actually were robbed of like a total social part of their cultivation that they're supposed to have, you know. And they were able to do it through some of these joint teams in video games. You know, they are a part of our reality, and they're going to be more and more a part of our reality already down here in Latin America because they don't have all the red tape. They've got a lot of these like virtual centers and stuff like that where you can come and combat. I don't know if maybe in the States, but they got this virtual reality stuff is getting real big. And I think you know, to just offer a practical you know, a practical way of doing this in health if you're going to do it, and considering the source and everything that you do, and also just maybe, you know, the idea that video games could become more depthy also,
Yeah,
you
with
know,
more
it's
depth because they're shallow, man. You know,
yeah.
Aristotle said everything in moderation. And then I heard Wes Watson say the greatest pleasures cease to please when you exceed the bounds of moderation. And that's what they're doing with these video games. They're exceeding the bounds of moderation. So yeah, everything has to be in moderation because the greatest pleasures cease to please when you exceed the bounds of moderation. What's up, Brandon?
I just have a disclaimer here.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so when I said number one, the video games, that was just number one on the list, not number one in a anyways. But I'll say the other ones so we're not all freaking bummed out about me saying video games, okay? So number one, play video games. There's a bunch of reasoning behind that can be a good idea, blah 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 blah. Fuck the video games. Learn a new language is number two in no particular order. Okay, chill out. Make some music. Are we getting happier now? Hold on.
Okay. You're making me happy.
Number four is travel. Okay.
All right, I'm not so full of hate anymore. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going. You're gonna like this one. Number five is exercise. Okay.
Yeah, let's get some.
All right. Number six is make art.
I'm down with that.
And number seven, there is no number seven. So the bottom line. The bottom line is take a look at the facts, which is video games is not number one, but is on a list of tools that you could use to get your fingers working and your brain spinning around. But do not exceed 16 hours of video at a time.
Disclaimer.
And we would recommend Brendan's approach to, if you can't stay in a gym for as long as you play, then get the fuck out. Was that basically the sense of that?
I would say, yeah, you gotta earn it. You gotta do the gym time first, and then you get the equal amount in the video game.
Idea time. How about a video game that teaches you personal development and intense physical exercise? I mean,
boom!
$1 billion idea. $1 million idea.
It's in my chat.
It's in the world at the same time.
It's in the chat.
Okay, that's
I put it in the chat. Personal development video game.
A video game.
It's in the chat. I put it in the chat about a half an hour ago.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's where the idea formulated.
I don't know. I put it in the chat. Yeah, man.
Okay, the fire within.
If I could add real fast to that list, I think if you're not making art, which is music, which is travel, which is exercise, you know, martial art, whatever, if you're not making art, you're not doing anything. They got you fucking in a gerbil wheel somewhere.
Bam. That's tapping into the creative intelligence, you know, the creative imagination, higher faculty. Yeah, art's everything. It is. It's beautiful. It's a big part of my life. Hell yeah. Well, this has been.
I gotta bounce. So you want?
This has been unique. This has been a good one. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Shut down that recording.
Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate this morning so much.
Don't you have a special sign off for us? Leave us with a warm, welcoming quote or something to just fire us up.
Another quote?
I'm sure you have one left. I'm sure you have one left.
Okay, since Brandon said something about art and creative, okay, let's see. Well, I'll hit you with 3 quick ones, all right? The world of reality has its limits. The world of imagination is boundless. Some philosopher said that. Here's a Salvador Dali quote. Those who do not want to imitate anything produce nothing. Everything is imitation. Yeah, a little bit. it's either making it better or making it worse, you know, depending on how good you're at imitating. Imagination will often carry us to worlds that never were, but without it, we go nowhere. I could go on, man. I could go on. I got a lot here. Imagination is the eye of the soul. Visualize this thing you want, see it, feel it, believe in it. Make your mental blueprint and begin to build. That's a little bit on creative imagination. How about this one? Logic will take you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. It's just you know, to tap into this creative intelligence, there is this creative intelligence that is self-replicating in life. I don't know what it is. People call it God, infinite intelligence, whatever. But it's there, you know, and it's self-creating, and it's a beautiful thing. And the fact that we have this creative intelligence, this creative imagination, it's proof of its existence, because it must be. I wonder if it's abundant in the universe, or if it's really scarce. Which one is it? We may never know. It's the beauty. Hopefully, when we die, we get the freaking we get the answers, because I want answers, damn it. You know, but we'll figure that out on the day that's tattooed on our soul, right? Because the clock is ticking. So,
Man, this was a killer meeting. What a killer meeting, fellas.
Man, they keep progressively getting better and better, I feel like, you know?
Yep.
Patrick absolutely crushed it yesterday. And Aaron's right. That opening line, that opening like statement Patrick had yesterday was like, perfect. Let's go.
Yeah, you crushed it today, Aaron. You did an amazing job, brother.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna shut her down on the recording.
There we go. We went over a bit, huh? Oh, 16 minutes.
You guys have a beautiful